Imagine this. You're in ancient Egypt, standing in the shadow of the pyramids. The air is warm, the Nile flows lazily in the distance, and in your hand, you hold a golden goblet filled with a rich crimson liquid. This isn't just any drink. This is wine, the drink of pharaohs, priests, and the elite. But how did the ancient Egyptians make wine? And why was it so special? Let's uncork the secrets of ancient Egyptian grape wine. Wine in ancient Egypt wasn't just a drink. It was a symbol of power, luxury, and even the divine. The ancient Egyptians loved their wine so much that they didn't just drink it. They offered it to their gods, buried it with their dead, and even used it as medicine. But here's the thing. Wine wasn't for everyone. It was a luxury reserved for the elite, pharaohs, nobles, and high-ranking priests. So, how did they make this precious drink? It all started with the grapes. The ancient Egyptians grew grapes in vineyards along the Nile, where the fertile soil and warm climate created the perfect conditions for winemaking. But these weren't just any grapes. They were carefully cultivated, often in special vineyards owned by temples or the royal family. Harvesting the grapes was a meticulous process, and every step was done by hand. Once the grapes were harvested, the real magic began. Workers would crush the grapes using their feet, yes, their feet, in large vats to extract the juice. This juice was then poured into clay jars called amphorae, where it would ferment over time. But here's where it gets interesting. The ancient Egyptians didn't just leave the wine to ferment on its own. They added special ingredients, like honey or herbs, to enhance the flavor. Some wines were even infused with spices or flowers, creating unique blends that were highly prized. Now, here's something you might not know. The ancient Egyptians were meticulous record keepers. They labeled their wine jars with detailed information, like the vineyard it came from, the year it was made, and even the name of the winemaker. These labels were written in hieroglyphs, and they've given archaeologists incredible insights into how wine was produced and consumed thousands of years ago. But wine wasn't just about taste. It was about status. Drinking wine was a sign of wealth and power. At lavish banquets, nobles would sip wine from golden goblets, often imported from distant lands. And it wasn't just for the living. Wine was also buried with the dead to ensure they had plenty to drink in the afterlife. In fact, some tombs were stocked with hundreds of wine jars, each one carefully sealed and labeled. Wine also had a sacred role in ancient Egypt. Priests would offer it to the gods during rituals, believing that the gods themselves enjoyed the drink. Wine was even associated with Hathor, the goddess of joy, music, and, you guessed it, wine. She was often called the Lady of Drunkenness, and festivals in her honor were filled with music, dancing, and of course, plenty of wine. Today, we can still catch a glimpse of ancient Egyptian wine culture through archaeology. Wine jars have been found in tombs, temples, and even shipwrecks, some still containing traces of wine. Scientists have even analyzed these residues to learn more about how the wine was made and what it tasted like. And while we may never know exactly how it tasted, one thing is clear. For the ancient Egyptians, wine was more than just a drink. It was a symbol of life, luxury, and the divine. So, the next time you raise a glass of wine, remember the ancient Egyptians, who turned winemaking into an art form. From the vineyards along the Nile to the golden goblets of Pharaohs, wine was a drink that connected the earthly and the divine. Cheers to that.